Welcome to the Glenn Beck program. It didn't take long for Washington to come out with their solution to the problem of the alleged violent rhetoric. The solution, however, comes despite not having a shred of evidence that this crazed gunman was motivated by anything other than his craziness. Politicians, however, are there to protect you, and they're pushing a ban on certain symbols and words, a ban on guns, a ban on talk radio. It's great, and I want to help. That's why today I found some people here in New York to come to work for this program. And we picked them up at the OTB, you know, the off-track betting place. These guys were really good at making bets. And so I just put them in the back room there. I don't know who that is getting up, but just put them in the back room there in the milky kind of tub, and we have some electrodes on it. I know a lot of people are saying you just took a cheap screenshot from the Minority Report, and that's actually what it says in the corner. But that would be beside the point. The point is here, we're just trying to fix things. We're trying to control speech and actions and thoughts. No, let me take that back. We're just trying to control the actions of society and make sure that there's no violence and crime. That's it. And I know some will say that's as possible as, you know, me having 3 precogs in milky, creepy-looking water who intermittently release precog balls that tell the future. And that's of course, not... Oh, hang on just a sec. Uh-oh. Please don't think things. Please. Jane and Fred Ryan from Iowa. The precogs know what your intent is, and there's no use running. We know what you're thinking. We know what you're going to do in the future. So just sit there comfortably and rest assured, America, things will be safe. And let us worry about the crime here. And we'll see this hour what these new, fabulous new laws, what kind of gifts they really are to you, the American people. Come on. Well, hello, America. Democrat Carolyn McCarthy. She is preparing to introduce a new gun control measure on the floor of the House. The law would ban larger magazines like the one allegedly used by the Arizona shooter. This gave me an idea. Larger magazines apparently are bad. Well, why stop with the magazines? Carolyn, you're onto something. Let's just ban everything that is bad. Sadness is bad. Let's ban sadness. And sadness leads to depression. Ban depression. How about traffic? We should ban traffic. Have you ever driven in traffic? It's awful. It makes me sad, leads to depression. Bad. Ban it. You see how easy this is? You just ban the thing. Broccoli, we were doing that. Trans fats, let's do it. Sadness, guns, symbols, it's great. Memo to everyone. Please. Sure, guns don't kill people. Crazy people kill people, but stop. What does that mean? It's bumper sticker thinking. You got to look at what they did in Chicago. In 1982, they passed a strict gun ordinance because guns are, say it with me, bad. So, the result, they said no guns in Chicago. The result, oh my gosh, it's great. Handgun murders, I don't think we have actually any stats for you. You just have to trust me on it. Uh-oh. Am I hypnotizing you again? Handgun murders actually skyrocketed. The first 7 years the ban was in effect, the number of handgun murders increased by more than 56%. Uh-oh. That handgun ban seemed to make dead people sad. And we banned sadness and handguns. Now what? The Supreme Court, when they reversed the city's ban in Chicago, guess what they cited? The rising of the gun, you know, the murders with guns. Quote, the Chicago Police Department statistics show, we are told, they reveal that the city's handgun murder rate has actually increased since the ban was enacted, and that Chicago residents now face one of the highest murder rates in the country, and the rates of other violent crimes that exceed the average in comparable cities. So, in other words, the Supreme Court used common sense and said the ban doesn't work. Might be a problem with the people, not the boom boom. What did Glenn Beck do? Is that violent? Am I threatening somebody? You know, some kids in some schools can't do this or they'll be expelled. That is just good policy. So here's the next solution. Representative Bob Brady. He plans to introduce a bill that would ban threatening words and symbols, you know, like crosshairs and whatever else. He says this is not a wake-up call. This is a major alarm going off. We need to be more civil with each other. We need to tone down this rhetoric. It's almost like Jesus himself is talking to us. Brady, tone down the rhetoric, be more civil. But Brady himself doesn't have any evidence that shootings are related to rhetoric or symbols, but he says this. Again, it's like Jesus. Tone down the rhetoric. I don't know what's in this nut's head, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Oh, Bob, you're right. You'd rather be safe and trample on the First Amendment. Well, gee, Bobby, thank you so much. Let me ask you this. How does limiting free speech or symbols make us safer? Does it make us more volatile or less volatile? We'll get back to you on that. But right now, let's do what politicians never do and think for 2 seconds before we act. Violent symbols. Violent symbols should go away. May I share something with just you? Because remember, all I do is engage in conspiracy theories. So, listen to me now. Just us. I want to tell you about this cult that's out there. It's a cult. They get together in groups and they recite like pledges or something. I don't know. My friends have told me about this. I don't know it myself. But they recite stuff and then they force their kids to gaze upon, I can barely say it, one of the most violent images known to man. Oh, it's horrible. And yes, this cult forced their kids as young as 7 to bow down and gaze upon that symbol. And then they teach them to drink blood. It's almost too horrible to imagine. And it happens every Sunday. Yeah, it's crazy. We've got to stop it. Let me show. Please. Look for a second, but don't be hypnotized by it. This symbol, it's violent. It's violent. This symbol needs to go away. Oh my gosh. They have kids looking at it. What will they do? That's why there's such a rash of crucifixions in the 3rd grade. Yeah, it's happening. My apologies to anybody who finds this man and his image sacred. But we're insane. This is what happens when you would regulate every symbol and every word and you have somebody else say, we've got to regulate symbols and I decide which one. Because look how easy it is to turn something like your First Communion into something dark and sinister. But while we're here, why not keep going? Congress, I've got another suggestion for you. Shotgun weddings. I mean, shotgun weddings, it's just a bunch of hicks anyway. How will the hick newlyweds not know to shoot each other? We should ban shotgun weddings, or at least the phrase, because it's violent. What about this show on television? Now, again, don't act on this. I don't know. It could be a news documentary. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but my friends have told me about it. Look at this image. Look at this image. It's the barrel of a tank. Okay, what is the tank advocating? You ready? Cupcake wars. I don't know what the cupcake wars are. What, you didn't give me a cupcake? I'm going to take my cupcake tank and blow like sprinkle stuff all over you, man. I don't know what it is, but it's violent. It should go away. But wait, while we're banning stuff, why stop there? If you act before midnight tonight, let's not touch the N-word in rap. Let's make sure that video games where kids can take and shoot cops in the head. Let's make sure that's okay. That means nothing. It's just a movie. It's just a video game. Nothing. But let's talk about violent rhetoric. Unnamed, zero example, violent rhetoric. And let's talk about banning symbols. Because we're just trying to help you. We're looking out for you. Remember, your 10-year-old can shoot a cop in a game because your kids know better. Why are you such a prude? But we're talking, not your kids, we're talking about these people. People like this, all over the country. They're just walking around in the streets. These people don't know what's going on. We have to protect them. There's a rock band called the Killers. They're not even trying to hide it. They're killers. Flu shots, you gonna go in there? Right. Look at this one. Look at this one.